Hi, this is Ted Demopoulos, and I'm going to talk to you about motivation. And sometimes we may be motivated to do something, and I'm talking about motivated to do something important, not like watch TV or endlessly scroll the internet, which I'm guilty of doing sometimes. But it may be something personal. Maybe it's health related, going to the gym, exercising. Other times it may be something professional, maybe starting an initiative, working on something important for work or something like that. And sometimes we're not motivated, but other times we are motivated. Well, here's something I've learned. You create motivation. So, quick story. I know these two people that are serious runners. They run almost every day of the week. They take 1 or 2 days off. They have a training schedule, and they never ask each other if they're motivated in the morning. And some days I'm sure they're not. It may be cold, it may be dark, it may be raining out. But once they start running, they build motivation, right? The motivation creates itself and they want to keep going. Let me give you 2 examples from my personal life, from very recently. So, I wrote a recent book. My last book is on consulting. And maybe a year after the book, I'm like, based on the feedback and the questions I've gotten, there's something I wish I included in the book that I hadn't. So I'm going to write another chapter for the book. And I thought about it, and I thought it was a good idea, and the feedback I got was good. I called it The Missing Chapter, chapter 0 in the book, right? The first one. And I wasn't motivated to start. And I just wasn't. It's like, I'll start sometime. I thought about it. And then eventually I forced myself to sit down and start writing. I said, I'm going to sit down for like 15 minutes and get some ink on paper, or really it was electrons in Microsoft Word. And you know what? I made myself sit down and start. I wrote the whole thing. I said I wasn't motivated, but I'm going to make myself start. But once I got going, I built that momentum. And I wrote the entire chapter, at least a pretty solid first draft, in one sitting. It took a few hours. I allegedly wasn't motivated, but I built that motivation. You build motivation when you do things. Let me give you another example from even more recently. So I'm in Australia right now. I'm in Melbourne. I was in Perth last week, beautiful place. And there's a lot of fun things to do in Australia, and Perth itself is pretty amazing. And it's important for my health that I exercise, right? It's important. I need to work out. I tend to eat and drink a fair amount, especially when I'm traveling around, which I do a lot. And I was going to go running, but it was like 100 degrees outside. That's about 38 Celsius for most of the world. It's hot. It was a bit humid. So I made myself go to the treadmill in this little fitness room in the hotel. And I assure you, there are better things to do in Perth, Australia than jump on a treadmill in a small room in a hotel. But I made myself go. It's like, I'm going to go run at least like a mile or something. First half mile wasn't awesome. Second half mile, I was getting a little motivated. I ended up running like, I think 6.5 miles because I built that motivation. And when I was done, I had more motivation left to do healthy things. And guess what? I ended up lifting weights and then going and jumping in the ocean, which was a lot more fun than being in this small room. But we build motivation. If there's something that's important to you, could be professionally or personally, I don't care if it's not important, this doesn't apply. Just starting doing it will often build momentum. So you just start and you create that momentum. It may be momentum to finish or to continue going or just to get a great start. And a couple of examples I've given you. I will give a link in the notes to that missing chapter in my consulting book for anyone interested. It's free. There's like no opt-in, no email or anything. You can just download it. This is Ted Demopoulos. If you like this video, click like, leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Having a great time in Melbourne right now. I'm actually in a little private like garden kind of area connected to my hotel room. Marriott's given me an awesome free upgrade. So thanks, Marriott, and thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.